Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one of these movie commentary things. We're back at the Good Times Entertainment Joyride.
So,
Yay.
One of the
okay.
most ironically named studios in the
So-
history of film.
For this one, even though Terry's usually not in these with us, I decided to bring him here because it's based on Greek mythology.
So
That
this-
way, Terry,
This
that
is
way, Terry can be here to tell us what's wrong and what's right. Probably all
Look,
wrong.
look,
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie, but I have an inch of literally everything is wrong.
okay. This is essentially Teos' fourth time joining us in the Good Times cinematic universe.
Train, yes.
Yes, the first time was Frosty the Snowman. The second was that god awful Rudolph unofficial sequel made to the Rankin Boss movie. The third time was the second
last Christmas, yes.
Yeah. The third time was actually a Good Times film. For the second time, the theatrical Rudolph movie that they released. And now we have this, Hercules. Why did I get the feeling this won't even be as good as the animated Hercules and Xena Princess crossover?
I've actually wanted to do this for a while now, but unfortunately I was only able to find the dubbed from my country. Yeah, somebody on YouTube put up the Portuguese dub.
Wait,
But
for
only
this
recently.
particular movie?
Yes, but only recently did someone upload the English dub. So I might as well take advantage of it. Okay, everybody, so for this movie, just pick up your DVD or digital copy or whatever. I'm pretty sure all cuts of this movie are the same. However, that's okay because there's a YouTube upload, so we're going to put it on the description so you guys can check it out. Why not? All right, let's go, I guess. So
Start before the usual good time shenanigans.
Yeah, the usual thing where the kids get kidnapped by fairy tale characters. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, click.
Good Times.
Yes.
What a weird company.
Did the Good Times ever make a Pied Piper movie?
No.
No.
Aw.
So, Pedro, I have to ask, why this particular movie?
Well, because this actually was one of the rarest ones, it seems. Because I was looking for ones to do, and I was never able to find this one. But recently, somebody finally put it up. So
I wonder. I wonder why this movie was so rare, though, in that regard.
You have to remember, Jova, that for these things they usually bargain bin at stores like that. So it will take someone to actively start to search a copy, find it, and rip it off, and then upload it.
I know.
It takes a lot of willpower to do it.
Oh, I know that, Tio. What I'm referring to is the fact that of all the Good Times movies, this is one of the more rare ones, because other ones are much easier to come across.
All
right.
What the hell kind of song is this for Hercules?
Hold on, let me have a listen.
Let's see if I can resist without making any Saint Seiya jokes. I will say this, they got the imagery of the Greek gods right. So there is that. The music is terrible, though. Zeus, I know that you're allowed to tend to having sex with everything that's outside of Olympus, but calm down.
Seriously, I'm half expecting the song to end like.
Oh, look! Once again, written by George Bloom, the guy who wrote most of these. Okay, Teo, if it helps you, this, from what I've heard, this adaptation is apparently more faithful to the original mythos.
Oh, goody.
I wonder if the Greeks like this film better than the 1997 film.
Here's
Funnily enough,
hoping the Greeks don't even know this exists.
apparently, this film came out 2 years before the Disney film.
So we're not even aping that up. Incredible. Mm-hmm. Again, they went for a more just approach because, again, if there one thing that Greek myth has set straight is the fact that Zeus loved to roam around the earth and fuck everything that he could find, sometimes while transforming into an animal. Yes, really.
Hang on, I'm a bit confused.
And his wife Hera wasn't exactly happy about it, but she always
Yes, Lips.
Yeah. I'm a bit confused. Apparently, I've heard there's two different pronunciations of Hercules. There was that one I just said, but there was also Heracles.
Heracles
Yes.
is the actual Greek name. Hercules is the one given by the Romans.
Yep.
Okay.
I get the idea that the reason why the Latin pronunciation stuck out the most is because it's quote unquote easier to pronounce. But both is fine by me. To light up the city.
The random
Star Wars
synthesized flute.
wife.
How was that?
Hermes, can you calm for a second? Also, I think that's Ken Clark. For the record,
Oh, sure. Blame me for everything that goes wrong around here.
I mean, to
For
be
the
fair
record,
here, the track record does tend to kind of be you when you're taking stuff out
also,
on Zeus's
you
kids.
want something, you want the thing to get even more uncomfortable? Technically speaking, Hera and Zeus are brother and sister.
Yeah. Well, wait. Hold on. Actually, I thought it was father and daughter, technically.
No, all of them are the sons, are the children of the Titan Cronus.
Oh, no, Tia. From what I recall, essentially, it was the big three that were the sons of
No,
Kronos.
all of them. All of the initial generation. The second generation was composed by people like Hephaestus, Ares, Athena, and so on.
Well, regardless, Hercules is now born. And here's Hera.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take it out on you.
Yeah, she tried, if I recall correctly, to kill him with snakes. Yeah, there you go. You remember that scene in the actual Disney movie where I forgot the name of the two demons
Pain and
transforming into snakes, and Hercules beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
It was their throwback to this particular scene. Yeah, it was essentially an establishing character moment to showcase that even as a child, Hercules could beat the shit out of everything.
This guy sounds like he's trying to go for a Tony J impression.
Just here's what the hell's with this face.
This music is the. Look, listen to us. The composer is on the budget of a banana. Okay.
Pedro,
It's
I've
not
heard
even
the
the same
soundtrack
quality.
for Terminator. Those soundtracks would probably sound like they were done.
It's
on
not
like
the
a
same
budget.
quality
They were
that fucks me over. It's the choice of actual type of synth used. Like they're having this kind of whimsical type of music where it makes no sense.
All right, and so this woman offered him a flower, and which means automatically now they're engaged. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, if there's something consistent about the Greek culture, is that any excuse was good for fucking.
Okay, production values aside, the story doesn't seem like the typical Good Times level of bad. Like, I mean...
Again, like Glib said, it also helps that they're basing it more on the original because the Disney version was not yet out, so they had nothing to ape at.
So it's not like this is a blatant Disney ripoff either, so... kudos.
Oh my
Really?
god.
I was kidding.
This is
Imagine if the
awful.
Disney movie had this kind of music. Okay, the Greeks might have liked it better, but it would have been a worse
Look,
movie.
as much as I don't really like the gospel used for the Disney version, at least it gave a bit of personality. This doesn't fit in the slightest. Also, you're not William Tell.
He has the... Don't you see, too? He has the marksmanship of William Tell, but with the strength of Heracles. Yes,
Okay,
you have a good
uh,
reflection.
Was
Why did we
Hercules?
to linger the shot?
He was
Okay, was
admiring
Hercules
his
this in love
reflection.
with himself?
Nah.
No, that's Narcissus instead. Bonk.
Remember, guys, we have to pad this out to 15 minutes somehow.
I mean, you know, okay. Here's the thing. Of all the Greek stories to pad out, you really don't need to pad out Hercules because he has the 12 tasks of Heracles, which you
You know
can
what's the sad
easily
thing?
have filling
This
out.
still, you know what's the sad thing? That still image of the crowd used to describe the crowd. It's still more effort than what Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep did with Olympus Coliseum.
I
That's
know.
sad. Square Enix getting outdone by fucking good times.
Oh, anyway, you're saying, Pedro?
That's actually the story we're going through with this movie, apparently, the 12 tasks.
Yes,
Ah.
if you don't know, well, it is pretty relatively common, but again, the Disney movie did not show. In order to become officially accepted by the Olympians and everything, Hercules had to perform 12 particular tasks, each with his increasing, difficulty.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. Yeah.
Not just that. If you watched the 12 Tasks of Asterix movie, Caesar did provide a recap of those.
So yeah, of course, and he still has the support of his wife.
Also,
I guess I don't know. Does she even have a name?
Hercules' wife.
Okay.
That's the only name you're getting, apparently.
I think that's one of the things that diverge because me and Jova did discuss this a bit in previous occasions about how there are some different versions of the myth. Because in the one that I remember, he doesn't really have a wife. He actually does meet Megara later on, but essentially she tricks him. At least in the version that I got, she tricks him and gets him killed with a poison arrow from Nessus. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, this scene. I get the idea that Good Times had been watching Ben Hur for a while and wanted to replicate the chariot race.
Wait, he did do it, but I didn't see him cross the finish line.
Just trust me, Dibs, he did it.
What is even sculpting?
Hold on, I think they mentioned her name, but we were talking over it.
Oh, that's Megara.
She actually is Meg. There you go then.
Huh, there you go.
So when does Hades show up and yell at Iona?
We don't do that. You have to remember, that for most of classical myth, Hades was not a bad guy.
Yeah,
again, just a guy with a shitty job. Mind you, the myth of Persephone's paints him still in a bad way because essentially he's a kidnapper and a creepy guy.
Although
not a world conqueror in that kind
although,
of sense.
believe it or not, here there are some variations that do suggest that she actually is legit in love with the guy before he kidnaps her. It's just that apparently him kidnapping her was the only way their love could be because Zeus was for some reason.
Her mother was impeding it, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, some versions have Zeus adamant that Hades not have any happiness for some reason.
Is she trying to hit him?
No, she's trying to help. God, is that Jennifer Hale playing her?
This dialogue is atrocious.
Hercules, I love you.
Were you expecting some kind of Stanley Kubrickian script or something? I mean,
At the very least, stick to, at least a trace of dialogue that was in the original books, or in this case, a myth, This is pretty much clear that it was kind of improvised from the authors.
The dialogue in Hercules in New York was better than this. And that was delivered by an RD who hadn't even had acting training. It was dubbed over it all.
Get a better PR agent.
Except for Hercules.
The War of Troy seems to suggest otherwise here.
Yeah, that thing might as well be considered the Book of Accidents.
Okay, although to be honest, I don't remember who she was siding on for that one.
I'm surprised you didn't say that. There are no accidents in this world except for Hercules.
I mean, to be fair, she'd have to acknowledge all the accidents made by her husband then.
Why not just say that one?
I love the teleportation sound.
Well,
When Doctor Who has better sound effects, that's a problem.
that was a show made in the 60s.
This was made in the 90s, for the record.
Laser!
Wait, what? Okay, is that all you know how to do, Hera? Just turn everything into snakes?
That's a bit lame.
Sorry, Herc, your mother's dead.
Well, that's it. Never mind. Moving on.
But okay, I will say this: props for him for showing him to actually grieve in a more human, actual manner. You know, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm too cool to be," to be sad
Yeah.
about this. That's the thing. For as much as this is badly presented, I get the idea that they're getting the spirit of what the original, myth is supposed to be. So,
What?
props for that, I suppose.
Like I've said, the story here is definitely not the typical good times bad fare. Like normally,
Mind you,
this...
we're not all the way through. So I'm considering how the Good Times version of Sleeping Beauty went completely bonkers in the later half. Also, stop with the Star Wars wipes.
The editor was a big Star Wars fan, too.
I'm sorry, Tio. We can't afford to use fade outs all the time.
Oh, don't flash
Don't
me!
flash me!
Apollo, what are you doing here?
Apollo? You mean me?
No, not you, Apollo. Now go wait for Ace Attorney 7.
Sure, whatever. I mean, it's not like
It's kind of funny. If I recall correctly, Apollo is like the one Greek god that had his name not really changed when the Latins took over the religion.
I guess to be fair, he didn't really have a cool planet to be
Also,
named
no
after.
shadow. It's not even just that. Actually, Apollo is actually one of the coolest of the side quote-unquote gods. His shtick is all about poetry, art, music, and medicine, actually. He is the inventor of the baton used as a symbol for medicine, the caduceus. Mm-hmm.
Just be careful.
This dialogue is so robotic.
Just be careful around anyone named Cerberus, okay?
There's barely any emotion inflated into this.
Yeah, and the voice acting is not exactly the best either.
Are you sure we couldn't have watched the Dwayne Johnson Hercules instead?
Well, that one is longer, because you don't have time for that one right now.
Well, maybe a time when we do have longer time.
Hey, fist bump.
What? Also, that animation of him twisting his fist into the air for whatever reason. And yeah, that's, if I remember correctly, that's the end of Megara's presence in this movie, so...
She'll probably show up at the end.
I guess this version ends with Hercules conquering all the tasks, and that's it.
Again,
Meg is just here to be Hercules' fuck buddy, basically.
Again, I'm gonna call her right now. She's probably gonna show up again in the end.
Oh, probably, but but by this point, she's basically done. Like, she's gonna show up there, but she probably won't even say anything.
Greetings, I have a stick. These guys' eyebrows movement. At least this voice actor is giving a shit. Spoilers, they're not really small.
You must begin by cleaning the entire kingdom.
That's task 10, if I recall correctly, Dweebs. Cleaning some stables that have not been cleaned for like 5 years or something. Okay.
They say his name is Scar. Go and make a coat out of him so that he can make a cameo in another movie.
Or if he can't do that, just stick the hyenas on.
Ooh.
He be flexing.
Basically, Ulysses has 12 chances to try and get Hercules killed.
Well,
Actually,
you've
that's
already-
not Ulysses' job.
Well, you've already failed the 8th task, not talking back to me, so you'll never be king now.
Then why did you flex?
Well, okay.
Well, he has to show that he's confident.
Also,
Otherwise,
that lion is not really big.
otherwise that guy's just gonna laugh at him, and
I mean,
that will
Hercules-
really set his confidence back.
Okay. Hercules has amazing strength, so why would this be a difficult test to him exactly?
Well, okay,
Because the lion also has incredible strength.
Okay, allow me to explain. The mythology with the lion is that it has impenetrable skin, essentially.
Yeah, as it's shown.
He is.
I love the movements. Well, now what? Let's
Just
give him a hug.
Yeah, let's give it a hug.
Oh no! Stupid surprise lion!
Well,
That's-
we just strangled the lion to death. Are you having fun yet, kids?
Well, that's
That's
kind
what
of,
happened.
yeah, that's kind of how it goes in the story.
Apparently, in the God of War mythos, that grants him a pair of, gauntlets. Not even kidding.
Well, not only that, but he makes a coat out of the lion.
Oh. Second.
Oh.
It looks ugly.
Okay. The guy voicing his evil brother is definitely having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You might be strong, but you're stupid.
Ooh! Okay. I'm loving these roasting sessions.
He's like the Greek version of Kyber. You know, I never liked it when people say consider it done, because it's not done yet, is it?
Okay.
It's stinking up the room. I said take the trophy, not laugh while you do it.
Never said he couldn't.
This same.
This is the Hercules versus the birds theme.
Just use some coat hangers. It works every time.
I've got coat hangers here. I can make a better theme than just with them.
No, Dibs, it's mostly a reference to Birdemic.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Of course,
Hey,
it's always a
wait
thing
a
always to
minute.
clean the shit up.
I didn't say you could have help.
Never said he couldn't.
A yo-yo.
Okay.
What?
It's because, remember, the birds themselves are made of metal, meaning that the resonance scares them off.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it burns!
There you go.
This sounds like the woman who played Princess Peach in the Super Mario 64 game.
Well,
Well,
if
you
I'm
don't
not-
have to be so mean.
it can't be that because we know that was a natural, like a natural employee from Nintendo of America, so we know it can't be her.
Wait, how do we know? Maybe she did this and that.
Hmm.
I mean, you can do things, on the
I-
side.
I guess.
Well, I hear this Jason guy is very skilled.
I know. Yeah, let's skip all the tasks and go straight on to task number 12, is it?
Yeah.
Let's go straight to task number 12. Say the alphabet backwards while drunk. You'll never get that one.
The Hydra, that's the more known of the task.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure this isn't an
Oh
anime?
my god, we're having a montage, seriously.
Well, we don't have time to do all 12, so.
This is the same shit problem that happens in Scooby on the Cyber Chase. The cool parts get relegated into a montage.
Like, I mean, okay, so is it like written by law that except for the two Rudolph movies, all Good Times movies
Oh.
cannot be any longer than 51 minutes?
This song is horrible.
Yes.
is. Again, the only song in any Good Times movie that's even halfway decent is the opening one in Little Red Riding Hood, and that's it. I can't even think of any other songs that are at the very least tolerable.
There you go, Dweebs. That's what I was talking about, cleaning up the stables from shit.
I guess I did.
Okay.
I guess I did. Oh man, they left out the carnivorous.
Sparkly clean.
Oh man, they left out the carnivorous horses.
Yeah.
We can't do that, Joe. Back in the way. I say we can't do that, but we showed Hercules strangling a lion.
Seriously, these
Wait,
fucking...
with the help of my chair?
I thought he said with the help of my chin.
Chinny
What did
chin
he
Like,
say?
how's that chin of yours gonna help?
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I feel like giving in now. I'm only halfway through the.
Yes, one particular task was to be receiving, here you go, challenging the Queen of the Erinis, I think it's called.
of the Amazons.
Well, okay, they have a specific name, but it's not Amazons, I think.
Thanks, Zeus.
But oh, so now you decide to help with a stone rain,
Dead.
and the music just stopped for that. Also, what's the background, Zeus? You're not you're not Jehovah in
Tio,
Shin Megami Tensei.
Tio, 420. He's blazing it.
Dude, weed, mayo.
Actually, I wonder what would happen if a god be. What would happen if an Olympian became high
Ambrosia,
on weed?
remember, Jova, apparently that's the shit for them.
Oh, never mind, there she is again. She is.
Hold on.
So she's brave just because she stands there
Well,
waiting and Google's it says they're going gaga eyes for you. That's
Okay.
what makes her brave.
Okay, Pedro, all joking aside, his point is that she's brave for actually willing to allow him to go on these tests because, most wives probably wouldn't want their husbands going off doing
It's the
something
same
dangerous
thing
like this.
for, Odysseus' wife,
I
wiping
wouldn't call
the
that.
Odyssey.
I wouldn't say brave is the correct word to describe that. More like, understanding.
Yeah, I get where they're coming from, honestly.
Especially remember, Pedro, back then infidelity was not really seen that particularly, badly. So, like he said, the Greeks wanted any kind of excuse to fuck with everything.
So essentially, Megara is like the best wife ever for.
Hello, Hercules.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
No!
Also, the lip movement. Yeah, no bullshit around, old man.
Ooh.
And he's dead, or at the very least, he has half his bones broken.
No, thankfully, we operated on cartoon logic, so it's fine.
Right.
Oh.
You must wipe the arse of the guy you just threw halfway across the room.
Oh, yes, the actual golden apples. Mm-hmm.
No. Well, I guess that means you can't become king.
Damn you and your apples.
So here's an interesting thing. While they did do a montage of some tasks, we're not to the last one yet. So...
Not evil
No.
laugh at this, though.
Again, Java, it's just like Scooby-Doo in the Cyber Chase. We just have the middle part.
Well,
For not to mention, some of these are like out of order.
Okay. To be fair to you, unlike Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, though, it's not like we skipped to the last level, though, like that movie did.
Thankfully.
Again, I do wonder, is it just written by law that Good Times can never have a movie that's over an hour
This
long?
is classic. Renounce to your task temporarily and have someone on the way, and you will be rewarded for your generosity.
But first, you have to find this other person. Then you have to go off and find his uncle.
This music.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I totally believe that sounds like a.
You got your stuff from Skyrim, Hercules, did you?
I don't get it. The synthesized music in King's Quest 5, 6, and 7 sounded fine. Was it really so hard to make good synthesized music in these things?
Oh well, imagine
yeah, it's
that.
a shapeshifter.
I was talking with a friendly guy, but it turned out he's a shapeshifter. And now he's dead.
Nope.
Oh.
The idea is that Hercules never released his grip. That's funny.
You're hilarious.
Well, it wasn't that funny of a joke, but I understand. I appreciate your laughter.
Oh, for a second there, I thought his brother would be a huge dick and kill the guy before he gets to tell him.
Surprisingly, no. He just waits until Hercules shows up again.
To be fair, if he tried something underhanded like that, the bet would probably be off at that point.
You also have to remember that supposedly these dual tasks are kind of essentially blessed by the gods, so aside from stating what they are, he cannot do much.
But that is a very
It means
terrible...
exactly what you think it means, you boy.
Not just that, Does the way that was phrased, you could have phrased that a whole lot better. That doesn't really ring in your ear at all.
That's like
makes sense in context.
that's like saying a man who eats his breakfast is no longer hungry.
Brilliant. Good job.
It makes sense
Thanks a lot, Rod.
It makes sense in context.
Oh, I know it does. It's just that, like, I still think we could have phrased that better.
Yank.
And half his actually he's a god.
Sorry, ladies, just need to steal your fruit. Okay, you do not have to get so political. Okay, Hercules, is this your solution for everything, strangling things?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's effective. It killed the lion earlier.
And the dragon just runs away. Okay.
Well, I think the dragon probably realized, crap, a human who can actually... Oh.
Move the bench. Really? This is really the whole "can you help me move a couch" thing.
Yeah, okay, fine, fuck you, bench.
Okay.
I know. I'll take it while you're asleep. Or something.
Yeah, like the old man also said, the trick is to go talk to Atlas, the Titan who was burdened with, taking the entire world on top of his back.
Or Hercules. I don't know. People keep calling me different names. Yeah, if I drop this thing, we literally all die.
Yeah. After the wars, Zeus was not very kind with the Titans.
So, would you say he got it better or worse than Prometheus?
Well,
okay.
I'd say worse, Joe, because remember, this guy has the picture of holding the entire
he cannot even move.
on his shoulder.
Prometheus at least has the luxury of thinking, well, maybe the eagle this time will start pecking me from the left instead of the right.
And then he punches him or something.
Come on, it's just the weight of the world. You'll be fine.
I will try. Normally, I will try to make a joke about the final song in the Automata, but I don't have the strength.
Fine, I'll do it. It's like I'm carrying the weight of the world.
Sure.
Like it is.
That's why I said it's like.
You know, this movie would be 100% cooler if it just stops and then some, narrator telling about the meaningless or so of life or something.
And then he dropped the planet and we all die. The end.
Yeah, don't trust him. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to punch him in the stomach and say, "Fat chance, you hold it, you bastard."
Bye.
Nah.
Tough luck, bitches.
You're very, very
Goodbye.
kind.
What a dick.
Well, to be fair to you,
Yeah, there won't be a next time, Atlas.
well, unless you count Perseus Jackson Book 3.
Okay, why did it
They
become
belong
William
to
Shatner?
now most royal king.
Did it
And
become
now
William
you.
Shatner?
Yeah, seriously. The William Well, he kind of looks like William Shatner now that I think about it.
Like,
So
this is secretly an episode of the Star Trek animated series and we don't even know.
Hercules being played by William Shatner.
I mean, he got laid a lot of time anyway. Actually, there is another place.
Potter, I need your help to complete all the 12 tasks.
It's
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
the underworld. I hear it's lovely this time of year.
Pack some coins. Caronte might want some coinage. I love how his chin doesn't stay consistent. Sometimes it's very pointy, other times it doesn't. Like,
Not just that. Like, seriously, let's think about what he just said. And then, after you do this, you will be known as the greatest hero of Greece.
Okay.
Wait, why am I laughing about this?
Okay, I don't remember Hermes accompanying Hercules for the task. Okay, I'm not even sure if I want to know how Hades looks like in this version.
Oh no.
Charon,
Wow, really?
Charon, get up.
That's your best Charon, really? Not even do the classic, faceless hooded figure. That's so cool.
Yeah, to be fair.
Like, not even like a skeleton. Usually, people go for a more metal approach.
So,
okay.
do they bring up the River Styx in this one?
Yes, it's this one.
We're literally traveling on it. Okay, to be fair, Charon varies a lot. Also, there's people writhing in agony.
I get that, Jova, but come on, you could come up with some kind of cool design for him.
My guess is that they were going for the old traditional look because, believe it or not, traditionally Charon is legit just a normal guy who runs a boat.
No touchy.
Oh.
Also, yeah, there's Hercules now with his
You might want to be...
Can you imagine? Whoa, Jesus Christ, dude. Can you imagine how fun it would have been to be in the booth recording that? Okay, just go on. Just go ahead. And I smoked 1,000,000 marbles before I recorded my lines.
Hey, wait a minute! Don't throw me in that river!
Whoa.
That's
Oh,
Hades.
jeez. You-
That's Gandalf. That's not Hades.
Well, at least
Fly,
he
you
looks.
fools!
Well, at least he looks cool and sounds
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
That's the irony, Pedro. That would be more like the design that Charon should have.
Yeah, I agree.
What kind of filter did apply to this?
Megaton, by the sounds of it.
I don't know. I actually kind of like it.
Me too.
You know what it reminds me of, Teo? Reminds me of that narration at the beginning of Ultima 8.
Yeah, the Guardian.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nice doggy.
He's harmless, surely.
Wait, was there a wait, did Cerberus
Yeah.
also have snakes in its back?
For a
Well,
tail.
yeah,
Some
for a tail,
versions,
yeah.
yes.
Hence why he mentioned that his tail has poison.
16.
Alright, let's string all 3 of them at once.
Wow.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit.
Ah, but thankfully he was wearing the lion skin, which gave him
Mhm.
invulnerability in the back.
Yeah, Cerberus is imagined more like of a chimera in this version. Yeah, now be good. We're gonna take a walk. Ominous.
Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, there's usually another storyline where he does rescue his mother later on from the underworld.
There's another instead where the last task instead is to free a soul from the underworld. It usually depends. Sometimes it's his mother, sometimes it's Theseus instead. It doesn't bite. Come on.
His back does.
You played yourself, son.
Yeah, you didn't think that through, did you?
Well,
Exactly.
crud.
What is this music?
Well, he's dead.
And Cerberus is being set upon the land of the living.
It'll work out. Hey, now we can be good brothers.
Yeah, that's a common thing with all the mythos. At the end of the day, usually, the person is not even like a sore loser. He actually accepts, defeat.
But then as Hercules leaves, he's like, oh, fuck, I knew I should have rigged those tasks.
Hmm?
Oh,
How lovely. Oh, I was going to say, now go away.
Now, what do
Yeah,
we
the
do about
soundtrack sounds like it's trying
Cerberus?
to be. The soundtrack sounds like it's trying to be like King's Quest, but it doesn't sound nearly as good. Yeah, see? Yeah, this feels like a King's Quest fanfare right here.
oh, I guess Hera just went over it.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Hercules, sorry I tried to kill you.
But
Child.
please, try not to cheat again this next time, Zeus. It's like, sure, sure, sure. Let me schedule this Europa. There you go.
He looks exactly the same.
Uh, what a dick.
Yeah. And then he drops. I'm just gonna drop her in the water anyway.
Oh, and I guess it ends like this.
Hey.
That was fast, and so they were back.
Yeah, I guess it ends like. I guess it makes sense for him to have a more happy ending like this. Oh, he just abruptly ends. All right then.
Yeah. Gee. What a...
Remember,
Wait.
Whoa.
Oh my
What
god.
What
Yeah.
is this thing?
Oh, look at that.
I
And
don't
of
even-
course, they had kids.
What, the synth?
Oh, I'm surprised we're actually
Judging by
getting...
the quality, I guess yes, Dreams, the Thief had kids.
Oh my god. We're actually getting epilogue scenes. Like, normally, from what I recall, Good Time films, it's normally just stills we get.
Yeah.
But no,
Alright, can I get
Oh, Dreams,
final
what do
thoughts
you
then?
think of his version?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm not going to compare it to this because this came out 2 years before,
Oh,
not at the same time, so I'm not going to do any comparisons.
okay.
On its own merits, if I can even call them that, it's not very good. The synth music is the worst part of the movie. It's completely ill-fitting, and at times just sounds flat out bad. The acting is a bit all over the place too. Sometimes it's competent, other times it's way over the top. And the story, what little there is, it's just kind of mediocre. But hey, I'll give it one thing: it's really hilarious and easy to make fun of. It's kind of like the Good Times equivalent
guitar.
of. It's like the Good Times equivalent of Supergirl,
Yeah.
the movie.
Ah.
And the animation. Well, I mean, it's a Good Times film on a budget. I don't know what else I was expecting. So, yeah, overall, it's not a good flick, but it's funny. I'll give it that. It's a lot more funny than a couple of their other pieces of. All right.
Next, Job, I guess.
I'll go next.
Job.
It's one of the better Good Times films, honestly. Don't get me wrong, the music is horrendous, the production values in the animation are passable at its absolute best, but I'll give it this. Story-wise, it does do a better job of adapting the tale of Hercules in some regard, even though, like, being faithful to it. And the voice acting is not all around terrible. Again, I do love how some of the characters pretty much do go all out here and there. Again, it's hampered by the usual Good Times production, but the story is surprisingly much better than the usual Good Times affair. I know, it's Good Times we're talking about, but it is notable amongst the sea of crap. I'd say that instead of the usual F or D quality, this would get a C minus. A C minus. It's passable, but just barely. That said, again, by Good Time standards, that means it's a miracle.
Yep.
So, take that for what you will. Next.
Pretty much. As for me, yeah, it is cool that they're trying to be more faithful to the original mythos, but at the same time, that also will bring up its own set of issues because, and I've talked about this multiple times, when you go back to original mythos and original fairy tales from the ye old days, you'll find out that a lot of these stories on their original form haven't really aged well and don't really have much in terms of value by today's standards. And as a result, there's always some. That's one of the main reasons why a lot of these stories, when they're adapted, there's a lot of changes because by the standards of modern storytelling, a lot of the original stories that were written / made up like hundreds of years ago, they don't really hold up. And this is one of this attempt at being like, yeah, it's cool that they're trying to be faithful, but at the same time, Hercules has no character arc whatsoever. In fact, I mean, the closest thing to a character arc is how the brother surprisingly is not a sore loser, and that's it. And hell, even then, him not being a sore loser kind of contradicts the personality he had up until this point. So it is one of those cases where, yeah, it's cool that you're being faithful, but at the same time, that it itself brings in its own issues. Like if you just judge this as like by today's standards, it just doesn't really hold up. It's just a very mediocre movie that just kind of goes through the motions. But yeah, if you're an aficionado of Greek mythology, I think you'll appreciate this at the very least for the fact that it's at the very least trying to be faithful to some extent. So that's that. There's that, I guess. I mean, personally, I would take a better story that's different than something like this, but that's just me. On its regardless of that, the music is terrible. The voice acting is inconsistent. The animation is it ranges between passable and terrible. Overall, as far as good Jetlag Productions made movies distributed by Goodtimes, it's definitely one of the least bad ones. It's okay. It's not. It's still laughable in a lot of ways, but it's not like the Sleeping Beauty one where it's just a hilarious train wreck. So there's that. Like there was at the very, I can tell at the very some George Bloom. This is one of George Bloom's better days. I don't understand why. I don't understand why the hell he couldn't make all of them look. Sorry, I don't understand why he couldn't write them all at least on par with Little Red Riding Hood. But whatever. Overall, by Goodtime standards, it's fine. By normal story standards, it's just a generic bad kids movie that doesn't really stand out in any way. It just happens and you forget about it. But no wonder I didn't remember anything from this movie since I was a kid, because like seriously, this movie doesn't have that much that sticks with you because it lacks personality, it lacks wit. Like it's just a very whatever kind of movie. Like it's not even worth hating on. It's just a movie that just goes, well, that happened. That was a movie, I guess. And yeah, like so, yeah, this movie is definitely one of the more it's not one of their worst, but at the same time, it's one of their more forgettable ones. I will argue. At least in terms of story value. In terms of being faithful, it's at the very least nice for that. But that's really the only great thing it has going for it. It's the faithfulness, and even then, like I said, being faithful to these old stories is a double-edged sword unto itself. So, all right, Teo, close us out.
Sure. I was expecting far worse for what it's worth. You know, the music is still terrible, and some voice acting is all over the place, and the animation is the usual Jetlag Goodtimes inconsistency clusterfuck. But otherwise, it's actually one of my favorites, considering how more faithful it tries to be. I kind of disagree on the whole thing that this didn't really had anything by staying too true to the original, because, again, the original still had its set of values. The entire thing about the task was for Hercules to prove his worth, and not all of them were just killing mindlessly something. It was about figuring out, your wits, or using your emotions, or learning about someone else's culture. So it was a vehicle to tell, more about the lore of the Greek mythology. It's there for a reason. So I do believe it's just a case of this version adapting a bit badly, but still being on the right track at the very least. Like I said, some of the designs are a bit questionable, like both Hades and Sharon. But again, aside from that, it does check out most of the tick. For some reason, we put in the montage for some of the tasks, even though they kept some of the more better ones. But again, we also included some of the more interesting ones in the montage, like cleaning the stables, the one that Jova mentioned with the carnivore horses. You know, so it's kind of a shame. I think I did recognize Ken Clark, like you mentioned, among the voice actors. He was a staple of the Good Times shenanigans, so he probably is here in some fashion.
Just like Scott McNeil. Scott McNeil was also in this.
So that's pretty neat. Yeah, Mega. The only thing is that again, Mega feels really pointless and nothing more than a glorified prize. It's nice that Hercules is given a bit more characterization to give a bit more humanity, like when his mother is killed. You do feel his grief, at least for me. I did felt it. But instead, Meg feels, again, kind of pointless, and at the end, she does the whole quirky thing about, oh, I don't want to marry you, but, now I'm being dropped in the water. That's funny. It probably was more charming at the time. It just probably lost its flavor.
I think, to be fair, it was kind of obvious that she did want to marry him. They were just
I get also the idea of giving a more happy ending rather than ending out with the tragedy of Hercules' death instead of being saying, "Oh, we lived happily ever after," because making it more seem like a fairy tale. So there is that. But again, for the most part, it is fairly accurate, and I can applaud more for whatever the fuck Good Times did for most of its product. Again, it's kind of an accomplishment.
What is the thing, too? Most of these adaptations that Jetlag and Good Times made, they technically are more faithful than the more watered down Disney versions.
Except for the Sleeping Beauty one.
And Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, okay, yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
Again,
yeah,
it's more of a thing that they decide to do whatever the fuck they want with each case.
Pretty much.
I guess it's just one of those things where, okay, let me take for example, the Alice in Wonderland one that they made. That one includes more stuff on the book that the Disney movie didn't have. Sometimes a lot of times these would actually have a bit more elements from the source material. I think the main issue is just that they didn't have the skill to properly represent these stories.
It's like I've asked before. Is there some unwritten rule that aside from their theatrical movies, they cannot have a thing that's over an hour long?
Animation costs,
remember, Jova, they're directly made to video. They're also incredibly cheap, so animation's not cheap, Jova. So,
but anyway, it's fine. Could have been better, but it could have been immensely worse. So at least I was afraid to say that I wasted my time, but no. I can say potentially that I had somewhat a good time. So mission accomplished.
Congrats, Good Times. You made one of your better movies.
This is not an excuse for me for having been, in all the other adaptations. I don't want this to be recurring.
Well, like I said, not only did you enjoy it, I immediately knew that it would be cool to have you here since you actually have the knowledge to properly explain things like you were doing throughout the entire movie. So it was useful.
But whatever. I guess see you for whatever we do next.
All right, see you for whatever new
Spore of Madness.
Yeah, see ya.